Let's face it, politics is an absolute joke. I'm Matt Richardson, and I've always suspected that literally anyone could do a better job of running the country than the clowns in Westminster. So I decided to put it to the test. Each week I sit down with a special guest who's suddenly and unexpectedly been elected Prime Minister and advise them on 3 policies they think will transform the country. Welcome to I Am Prime Minister. Once again, it's my very great honour to introduce our new PM to the nation. As a comedian, he's appeared on everything from QI, Have I Got News For You, and Live at the Apollo, to Celebrity Mastermind, House of Games, and Bake Off Extra Slice. But now he's put all that behind him as he's prepared for high office. Ignacio Lopez, congratulations on your victory.
So pleased. This is, it's been a long time coming. I feel like I'm a man of the people. You and I, we've done some horrific gigs. We've dealt with the public. I know what it's like there on the grassroots ground floor level. It's about time.
I actually think of all of our guests who I know well, you are the one I've done the worst gigs with. We really slogged it out together, didn't we? Like, we have done awful pub gigs. There's a lot of people that I know, but they've had an easy ride. You did the hours.
I did, man. I'm still doing them. I feel like this PM job is just a way to get me off the circuit, just at least for a few months until I'm eventually toppled like all terrible despot governments.
Mate, it's harder and harder to get TV if you have to be PM to get it. It's going to happen soon. Look, this is very exciting. Obviously, the first time there's been a Spanish-Welsh Prime Minister.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a Welsh Prime Minister before.
Yeah, we have.
I don't know, like a century ago or something. But this is, it's quite a privilege to be the first Welsh-Spanish mix.
I have to ask as well, as a man who lives here who is Welsh and Spanish, which side do you feel more connected to as a person who lives here?
Because I'm in Wales, I feel like more Spanish because they make me feel more Spanish.
Okay.
When I'm in Spain, my Spanish family are like, this Welsh guy, what's he doing here?
It turns out you speak Spanish with a very heavy Welsh accent.
Yeah, it just flips. It just goes the other way.
It must feel like you've got quite a unique experience and a unique take on this country when you're going around it. Do you feel that yourself as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people really relate to a lot of the stuff I have to say because people in the UK like laughing about themselves. Yeah. So, and even though I've been here for so long, some stuff really still surprises me. Like, I'm still not on board with queuing. People absolutely love a queue, and I cannot get on board with that whatsoever.
It's just Spain, not a Spanish thing, is it?
We don't do it, man. We show up, we say, who got here last? ¿Quién es la última? Who got here last? And somebody will say, me. And then you just piss off and you just keep an eye on that person. And as soon as they're being served, you're like, right, I'm next now. It's a much easier system. I don't have to stand in place. It's a much
more relaxed system over there, isn't it? I think,
yeah.
And everything feels a little bit slower and a little bit more kind of let's not worry about it. And I think we need a big dose of that here.
Yeah, everything happens mañana, tomorrow. The next day, it never comes.
So we have 3 policies we're going to go through. As your chief advisor, we're going to talk about them, work out what's good about them, and how to sell them to the British people. So can we have your first policy, please, Prime Minister?
My first policy, which is potentially one of the most important, I think it's going to revolutionize the country. Siesta is going to be mandatory. We're going to bring in mandatory siesta across the nation. It doesn't mean you have to sleep, but those hours in the day, post-lunch, every business has to close. Everyone can go home and just get a couple of hours resting before continuing on with their day.
I think this would work brilliantly because very often I'd speak to people and I go, I think you need a nap. You need to go home and have a little sleep because you're not being very nice.
A lot of tired people out there, a lot of tired faces,
Also, I have a lot of naps. I think because of the jobs we do, like I get up in the mornings, I have a day, and then I always have, if I'm going somewhere far, I'll always have a sleep. And I do think it makes the day better to have that little bit where you just have a bit of time for yourself, even if you're just lying down. I think it does improve mood. It's meant to be good for your mental health, as well as people who nap less likely to develop things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So for the health of the nation, I love this.
We've done the research, we know exactly the health benefits of the siesta. I mean, there's a reason Spanish people live longer. It's not just because we drink less; it's because of all of the other factors as well, including sleep. It's so important. people, the thing that annoys me is British people calling Spaniards like lazy because we nap in the afternoon and stuff, but we actually work way more hours. We
Yeah.
get up earlier, we go to bed a lot later, we have a much longer day, but we just have this 2 hour injection of calm and rest right in the middle, and it sets you up. I think my performances on any quiz show you watch on television that I've appeared in, if I do well on it, it's because I was able to have a nap before part of the show. If I do
Because you didn't do
badly
the
on it,
1 p.m. record.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you can. It's very clear with some that will be airing later this year that I was not
How
well
did you do on
rested.
Master? How did you do on Mastermind?
I did okay. I did okay. I did. Did I manage to get a nap on that one? It recorded so long ago and it aired relatively recently.
What was
I
your
did great.
subject?
Nine Inch Nails, my favorite band.
Oh,
Which yeah, I did well on that subject, but the general knowledge, I think I just completely checked out. I was due a
yeah.
siesta, I think, around about the general knowledge
See,
round. My
I had the
brain was like,
opposite. I had the opposite when I did it. I had a terrible specialist round, and then I smashed the general knowledge.
what did you pick as your specialist?
Concorde.
The airline,
Yeah, yeah,
the
I
flight.
like planes.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, but
okay.
it was stuff that like what I'd researched. I went very like the actual plane, and it was a lot more of the history that I wasn't prepared for.
All right.
But
So you went like technical knowledge and stuff, the
yeah, yeah.
times and all that thing. All right.
I
Okay.
do also
Yeah.
think, look, the middle of the day it's not a great day to do anything. I think a lot of people, better lunches would happen. You know, here, the whole culture of working at your desk and eating at your desk is terrible.
Yeah. Oh man, there's people. I can't tolerate people walking and eating at the same time. I think like it
Yeah.
shouldn't be part of your, running to lunch, getting back to the office or something or any work. Like you shouldn't be stuffing a Greg's steak bake in your face as you're running for a bus.
No.
It's not cool.
Because obviously it's a big thing in Spain. Italy and Greece also do it as well. And it feels like they've just got a better culture around meals and socialising. To be able to go and do that for a couple of hours feels like something this country desperately needs.
Yeah, let's do it. And people are complaining about that people prefer to work from home and stuff.
Mm.
The bed's right there. It's going to be much easier to fit a siesta in and then get right up and be more productive.
I mean,
Espresso,
quite
get on
literally in
it.
your case. For those that
Yeah.
are just listening, Ignacio has moved house literally today and has a bed behind him that hasn't been unpacked yet. So we're trying to do this as quickly as possible so we can have a very late siesta.
Yeah, or no, just a typical IKEA meltdown. That's what I'm going to be
Oh my
having
God.
very shortly.
I really like this. I'm a big fan of naps, and I think obviously working evenings. When I was younger, I didn't do it as much, but now I just get up really late. Whereas now I'm up in the morning and I want to have a day of doing things and then also work. And I feel like it really extends my day, having just an hour even or 40 minutes in the middle of the day that is mine that I can sit and just do nothing or have a sleep.
It's like a power up in a video game.
Yeah.
It's like getting depleted by the day, and then that little cheat code, it just sets you up, and you can tolerate the world again for a few
Absolutely,
more
and I
hours.
think when you go abroad as well, this is related. I think because there's that closure in the day, you can buy things late. You can walk into a shop at 9 o'clock and they're still open and working, and it's fine. And I think that is something we need. We're always talking about productivity and growth. Everything shuts at 6. I want to go to the post office after 4 o'clock, and I think
Yeah.
this is the way to do it.
I don't understand how it works. Anything you need to do outside of office hours, like most people work regular 9 to 5 jobs, and then everything they need closes after that time. So how does anyone get anything done in this country? It makes no sense.
And then it's a mad rush at the weekend. Yeah, I think this is really good. There's a lot of practice at the moment and talk of things like the 4-day work week, but maybe just a couple of hours in the middle of the day is the way to improve everyone's well-being.
Yeah, man, it'll sort out so many people's lives. I'm happy to bring that policy to the
I
UK.
absolutely love this, and well, I'm doing it anyway, so I absolutely love this. I think this will be incredibly popular. I think it'll take a bit of getting used to. I think people will moan that nothing's open at lunchtime, but you just work around it. It's absolutely fine. You're
If
not doing
people can
anything at
get
lunch
used,
either.
man, if people can get used to having to smoke outdoors, you know, then I think they can get used. Like people complain so much, like you want me to go outside in the fresh air and smoke my
Also,
cigarette.
we've been gigging about the same amount of time. I couldn't do my job if you could smoke indoors.
I know.
Can you imagine gigging and you just come home stinking of smoke?
Yeah.
Like it's madness that was just like I've seen old videos at the Comedy Store and it's like a haze of smoke and
Yeah,
everyone is watching
everybody's
for
on
it.
stars in their eyes
Yeah.
coming through.
Can we have your next policy, please?
This ties in quite well as well. I mean, mainly I'm bringing a lot of Spanish culture to the UK, I think,
Yeah.
but food establishments, I'm talking restaurants, bars that serve food, anything, have to, again, mandatory, have to be open till at least midnight. They have to be serving food until midnight,
Oh,
kitchen closed
yes.
at midnight. Yeah,
That is
across,
amazing.
we've both been on the road for so
Ugh.
many years. Late night food options are terrible in the UK. If I get heart palpitations just thinking about the amount of kebabs I've eaten,
I
post
know.
gig or service station, cold WH Smith food for way too much money. I want to be able to sit down and have a nice meal after I've been, working and doing a show or traveling around the UK. I want to just sit in a nice place. And it shouldn't have to be a curry house, which are the only places open. I love a curry, but I just want some more options. I think we're going to have to, enough is enough, make it mandatory. Every place has to stay open.
It's just madness, isn't it? Because I think, look, obviously the culture here is that everyone eats quite early, but going around the country, even just finding somewhere to have something half decent after 9 is nearly impossible. And I think we obviously have a unique view into that. I've done it before where I know there's certain service stations with a Coco de Mama in, the little pasta place. And I have done gigs before. I'm like, okay, I'm on at 7:30. They shut at 8. There's one about 4 miles away where I can then not have to have... Like, my accountant once rang me to ask if I was okay because of the amount of McDonald's I eat. But I'm like, I want a hot meal. I want something hot. I don't want to eat a shit sandwich every night of the week.
Yeah, I don't want shares in an American franchise.
Yeah,
I don't want
exactly.
to be
And
shoveling fries into my face.
all
Yeah.
these tiny, amazing little independent restaurants, and you just can't ever go in them after 8 o'clock.
No, city centers shouldn't close so early. And I think the siesta policy runs straight into it because,
It's
like you
perfect.
said, people eat earlier, they get tired, smaller working hours. I think food establishments should be open till later. I think with the UK getting hotter and hotter now as well, it's going to suit people's mood. They want to eat later. It's too hot to eat during the day. That's why we do it later at night, smaller portions till midnight.
Absolutely. And would you consider yourself a bit of a night owl then, naturally?
Yeah, 100%. And, in the last sort of few years, I've kind of been getting up earlier and earlier now. Sort of, I don't, a lie-in for me is like 9 a.m. now,
Yeah,
whereas
for
it used to
sure.
be like midday for sure. But now I'm getting used to getting up earlier. I can just about get away with fitting a siesta in sometimes, unless something's happening. Especially you're moving house, you're just at the whim of every work when you've got booked to do
Awful.
something here. So electricians like, oh, I'm coming at 9 a.m. Okay, get up early. Oh no, it's actually midday now. Right, my siesta's gone out the window. I need that electrician to come in and
And
sort
also, when
something
they're
out.
in, you can't just go, I'm off for a sleep while you're working,
Just gonna
by
have
the
a
way.
quick nap. If you could keep it down though, enough of this drilling through walls and shit.
It's already bad enough, I think, when you're a comedian and you have workmen in, and they're like, so why are you home? Why are you... And you're like, oh, I work evenings. And you don't want to say what you do because then they make jokes about it. And you know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah,
it's a nightmare.
I just started telling people I'm on tag. I think it's much easier, and the workmen, they definitely don't try anything on then.
Do you really well shit up when the workmen come in as well? You'd be like, I'm
Oh,
not...
absolutely, yeah. I do my strongest Merthyr Tydfil accent, and they back off a little bit then when I say I'm on
Yeah,
tag.
absolutely. I don't even know what to add to this. Or normally with these, I will sort of try and play devil's advocate with people's policies and work out why people wouldn't like them. These just make sense to me, even if we make it seasonal, because obviously,
Yeah,
I guess Spain don't have the same weirdly dark 4 p.m. nights that we do in the winter, that
yeah,
make it a little bit easier. But I think like this is just simple, like even now, so it's 20 past 7 now, like my other half and we're going to walk up to the pub. We live in a village. We're going to walk up to the pub and we're like, oh, but they won't be doing food at 8. Like when we get there at 8, we'd have missed food, so we'll have something to eat. But you think, why? But we want to give them our money. And
yeah.
it feels like here we are desperate to get away from shops or food as quickly as possible, or any sort of outside activity, unless it's getting battered. And I think it's a whole cultural shift. Like after COVID, when everyone was out drinking on the pavements, and everyone had seating outside, like that was such a European thing that everyone loved, and then it stopped all of a sudden. And these are just an extension of that.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Everybody's cul-de-sac turned into like cafe culture Vienna or something.
Yeah.
Everyone had their
It was
the
beautiful.
deck chairs out and on the
Um,
veranda.
so these are both, like you said, kind of they lead into each other. Are there other parts of Spanish culture that you think we're missing here that we would really benefit from as well?
I mean, I do love the UK. I can't. I think one thing I hope is going to happen more in Spain, actually going the other direction. The comedy scene is starting to get a bit more similar to the UK,
Oh,
as in
cool.
more clubs are opening up, more comics are starting. It's very exciting because I've been carrying the weight of being the one Spanish comedian in the UK for so long. Now we got a few others kind of coming in, and younger kids, starting doing
Well,
stand up.
look,
So
now that you're on TV, like, yeah, it's fine to have it's when they're nipping at your heels before you're where you want to be. That's when it's a
oh
problem.
yeah, I was poisoning their drinks in green rooms, but now I'm
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
for them to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as long as you're top of the tree, it's fine. Because I do think that I think we do lots of things well when it comes to culture and night times and things, but the food is a problem, and I don't know why we eat so late. And also, there is stuff, but it is crap. And I think over the last 15 years, 20 years, like food has gotten much better in the UK and restaurants have gotten much better, but they are closing way too soon. I find it mad as well. There are so many restaurants that, like me, you probably are around on a Monday and a Tuesday and you want to go for dinner. So many of them don't open those
Closed.
nights.
Mate, today is a Monday. We're recording on a Monday. My girlfriend and I, because she is a photographer, she's typically out on a weekend working as well. So Monday and Tuesday is our weekend,
Mm.
and we've gone out today, and like everywhere we wanted to go is all closed. All the street food places, they're like, "No, we're not opening Monday, Tuesday. That's their weekend."
Yeah, and I guess,
Frustrating.
in Spain, I think Sundays are still a massive thing, right, where lots of things are closed. And I understand that, it's a much more Catholic country, but I would love just more things to be open all the time. Like, I think when you go to somewhere like, New York even, like, it's just everything all the time. And I think London even doesn't have that, does it? Like, I live in a village. I accept that there are limited options. But even when I lived in London, like, even now I'll go and meet friends, and at 11 in the week, everything's done, it feels like. Unless you want to go to some scuzzy bar, like, what is going on? Everyone's been at work and then no one can enjoy anything.
The first time I went out in London, it blew my mind that stuff was closing at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
because I was like, there must be a bar open like beyond 11 p.m. But no, and I was like, it's the capital city. Berlin has cafes open 24 hours. Like, how can you not have, a wine bar or something open till unless you go to a nightclub?
Yeah,
But
and
then
it's something that I
everyone's just on
think
drugs.
it's something I think that Muslim culture has done here really well, is that you go past like a shisha place and they're all sat having coffee and like chatting late into the night, and it's always open and it doesn't feel like it's eked out anywhere else. All these places in the world that we've gone and colonized, and we haven't brought that back, and I think it's unacceptable. Everyone
Yeah,
goes to Spain.
definitely.
Like, my mum and dad love going to Spain, right? And they go all the time. They're out there at the moment for 6 weeks, and you just go,
Wow.
why don't you then want that culture here? Why not want to go out? Why aren't you like? Today they've rung me. It's like 8:30, and I've got a text going, "Oh, we're just off out for the evening." I'm like, but when we're here, you're in bed by now. Come on, be better, be more Spanish in this sense.
It's because they get the siesta over there,
Yeah,
so
that's
they're
true.
able to go out
They're
later.
retired. They get siestas anyway. There's only a couple. There's a cafe in Soho that's open. Balance opens 24 hours and does food 24 hours, proper food. There is
Oh, that's good to know.
cafe opposite Liverpool Street, but they are the exceptions to the rule. I would love this if you could just know you can stop somewhere and get a good proper meal rather than something absolutely depressing.
It means that the restaurants because you're spreading out the hours as well. They don't get so hectic at
Yeah,
like peak times, so it's a bit more chilled out atmosphere. It's better for everyone. It's better for the servers. It's better for the business to have that extra working hours, so more people in, but not concentrated at
I love it. I
7:30
absolutely love
p.m.
it.
or whatever.
And
Yeah,
people won't be getting as drunk. There'll be less trouble because they're not like packing it in before 11.
exactly. And you can go out have a steak or load up on carbs cooked well
Exactly.
before you have some more
Lovely.
drinks.
Okay, Prime Minister, can we have your third policy, please?
Yes, this is the most serious of all of them, I think. I want to nationalize or internationalize all public transport. I think
Great.
I don't think shareholders should get a cut of the profits. I don't even think Ryanair should be allowed to make profits. I think all of it should be nationalized. All the money should go um, back into the countries via tax and infrastructure.
It's mad, isn't it? Because weirdly, and this is me being a plane nerd, it was a national airline, like British Airways. Many years ago, before it was British Airways and British Caledonian split off, there was a national. Every country had a national airline, and that's the way it worked. And it was a really good way of doing it. And I think, even Ryanair, who are cheap, like, you are suffering because of it, because they want to make a profit. Like, it
Yeah,
does make it grim. And I think it would be brilliant to be able to fly from Cardiff to Edinburgh easily and 4 times a day, or Exeter. And, like, I know, look, obviously climate change and all those kind of things, but to connect a country would be great if you could just get on planes and it was cheap and easy. Even if you could just get on trains now. It's mad,
man.
isn't it?
If I could get a train, I can't. The thing that blows my mind is that I cannot travel from South Wales to North Wales without having to go via England, via you know 2 or 3 different train companies sometimes to get to the place I need to get to. If it was just one train company, it would make everything cheaper, more efficient. I don't understand. It blows my mind
Well,
that it's
look,
all split up the
the
way
the
it is.
current government are slowly nationalising the railways as the franchises come up. So, for example, Great British Rail, the latest one, happened in July. It's very exciting, and there are a few others they're running as well. But like LNER is nationalised. However, they are still running them like a business. I think if it was truly nationalised, there'd be 24 hours a day. It's the same, you can get trains at all times of the day in other countries. Whereas there are so many where it's 9 o'clock and that's the last train out of Manchester to go
Oh
somewhere
man.
that you need to go.
Speaking of times, I was saying about the food being should be open later. Like I only recently learned how to drive, so I've been on the circuit for 15 plus years.
How have you managed
Doing
that?
it's been a nightmare, and I haven't made a penny. There's a reason I've only just bought a house, and it's because I've managed to learn how to drive now.
It really blows my mind, comedians who can't drive. Like, I am in. You've never appeared, actually. I am in a secret Facebook group called Don't Ask Me for a Lift, and it's just comedians who have been going for far too long. Going,
Yeah,
well, my train's cancelled. I've got to get 4 buses to get home, and I'm like, you've been around 30. Learn to drive. I wish it wasn't the case that we had to drive. I would love to get the train more. I live in Oxfordshire, right? I live in the middle of the country. I live in a good place to get around everywhere, and it's still a fucking nightmare. Like, if I do Birmingham, my last train home, I'm on a Birmingham to London line. I have to be on before 9. The last train's 9 o'clock for me to get home. It's
the
just
same for
wild.
it's Birmingham's like 2 hours via car, right? I cannot get there. I can't get back from there post 9 p.m. The middle of the city, the biggest, I think it's like the second biggest city in the UK, is
Yeah,
it
it is.
Birmingham?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't doesn't have public transport post 9 p.m. unless I want to get a coach to London and then a coach from London to Cardiff, which is it's going to take me like it's a 11-hour trip or something. It's wild to me. Like just nationalize it all, make it nice and easy for anyone to get to anywhere. It'll help the economy everywhere.
I can't believe you've only just started driving. That is because you
I've
are
never
you are a hard gigger as well. You gig a lot, right? You've always gig loads. You're obviously on tour now, but for many years you've been like a big circuit name who's done all the clubs. You've been everywhere, and you've done all that. That sounds bleak. I'm not
done
gonna
it on a shoot.
lie.
It is bleak. I've got obviously you end up with stories and stuff, but for a long time, I effectively lived on a megabus. It was basically like
Yeah,
my tour bus because I was on them all the time. And weirdly, megabus it was one of the most reliable modes of transportation in
and
the UK,
affordable as
like
well.
and affordable.
I've
There's a reason
done.
I've done not Megabus, like a similar company, Flixbus, to Amsterdam and back. Whereas the amount of times I've missed, flights have been cancelled, or I've got somewhere to the gate and they've told me, oh no, your ticket was a standby ticket on a flight. That would never happen on a coach. You bought your ticket, you're allowed on the coach. Whereas crazy stuff happens with the airlines, man.
And have you done a lot of like sleeping at train stations and things?
I've done it my fair share. Yeah, I've slept on a few park benches in my time.
No.
Victoria Station in London, the coast station. I've probably slept there more than anywhere else, other
Oh
than like my own
no.
bed or a travel lodge or something. But
Oh.
yeah, I've.
Oh mate, I feel like I'm really glad you're successful now because it feels
Thanks,
like
man.
you've been gigging for the memoir. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you've really done the hard yards. Oh. Yeah, and I guess like you can get around other places in the world. I think it's interesting that you said when we were talking about these internationalize as well. Like you think airlines, everything should be done. It's not just about British public transport. It's about getting all over the world.
yeah, completely. You know, I shouldn't have to. It's like getting a flight somewhere and then, having to go through a different kind of passport control or join a different queue or come out and connect to this other thing. If they were all built into one more efficient network, because I know
That'd
they
be
are all
great.
networked and
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
But if there was some sort of international body that covered it all and then divided the money up equally amongst, the various modes of transport and who puts what in what, like some kind of crazy European Union or something, if that happened and it was
Amazing.
spread equally and fairly, then I think it would be great for everyone.
It's so frustrating because now we've left the EU. I used to get the train to Paris quite a lot. My other half used to work there loads, and she'd be there for a couple of
Okay.
weeks. And before we left, like you'd rock up to King's Cross, like 20 minutes before the train. You'd jump on, show your passport quick, jump on, and now it's such a fucking palaver. Like everything is more inconvenient. I appreciate we travel a lot more than other people, but what I find interesting is where I live. In the 60s, they got rid of loads of the railways, right? Because the car was the future and everyone wanted a car. So there were all these small railway lines. Every village, every town had a railway station. And they got rid of them all. Where I am now, from Oxford to a place called Whitney, I'm sure you've gigged in Whitney, there is genuine progress happening to rebuild a train line they pulled up. And you just think, yeah, like we've done the wrong thing for 50 years. There should be a train to everywhere in the country. You should just be able to bob around on trains and it would be easy. This is hopefully happening. Like I'm hoping that obviously now you're Prime Minister it's going to happen, but long term hopefully this is going to be something that we can really push and really make work.
I've seen it obviously happen in places like Manchester have done it for the longest, like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
implemented it, and Liverpool and Wales is starting to get there. They've nationalised the rail again. Transport for Wales was brought up by the Welsh government,
Yeah.
and now they're starting to connect buses and trains into one, which is like I shouldn't have to buy multiple tickets for
No,
different
absolutely
modes of
not.
transport. If I'm trying to get to one place and there isn't one mode of transportation that takes me there, I shouldn't have to be dealing with all these different companies and tickets and stuff. And if there's a delay, I shouldn't have to, argue with the person on the next mode of transportation. But my train was late getting in. Let me on the next bus. Like,
Yeah.
no, sorry, your ticket's not valid. Like, just let me on, man. For Christ's sakes.
What I like
The
about
people,
your
the people of Wrexham are going to be missing my jokes tonight if you don't let me on.
How dare you deprive Wrexham? What I like about your three policies is they all make life more convenient. So it's all about like not living within the parameters that we've set, traveling late or traveling easy, being able to get everywhere, being able to eat when you want, being able to shop a bit later, being able to sleep when you want in the day. I think all of these make perfect sense as future policies, and I don't have anything that's going to be an issue to sell to the country. I think it will make us happier. I think it will make us more relaxed, more social, everything about this. Because look, you're happy to eat later because you're going to have a sleep in the middle of the day the next day. So, you can be up a bit later. You can sleep a little bit less. I love all of these Prime Minister. I think a Spanish, Welsh Prime Minister was the secret to all of our problems, really. And now you can
I
drive,
appreciate
Prime
that.
Minister.
Thank
If
you.
people want to find out more about you, now you're driving. Are you on tour at the moment?
So my last tour is just finished, but you know what it's like, man. As soon as one's done, I'm heading up to the Edinburgh Fringe now with my new show. And if people want to find out where that's going to be next, comedylopez.com. So everything, I always list my stuff on there. Every show, every tour I'm doing, my specials that are going to be coming out, comedylopez.com. See what I was doing before I got into politics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, I mean, it happened for Zelensky. It could happen for you. Maybe he'll
Let's
go
hope.
back and do. Maybe he'll have the best Netflix special of all time in about 5 years about how he led his
Let's hope I
country
don't
through a
end up in a
war.
bunker. I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen some Edinburgh venues that feel like a Ukrainian bunker, but I'm hoping I don't have to defend the country
I've done
against
some
an
shows in
onslaught.
those bunkers and it feels like everyone is at war. The way they look at me, they've got the 1,000-yard stare of the Ukrainian people. Prime Minister, thank you so much. If you want to find out more about Ignacio, go to comedylopez.com. Thank you again.
Pleasure. Thanks, man. Gracias.
You've been listening to I Am Prime Minister, hosted by me, Matt Richardson, and produced by Matt Needer. If you've enjoyed the show, forward it to a friend, leave us a 5-star rating or review, or write to your MP. I Am Prime Minister is a Wild Ambitions production.